Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero. We are back again talking about this video in particular, talking about how the Ripperverse is a cult and its followers love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the video, I'm going to react to it, I'm going to give my commentary on it, and we're going to get into this and just kind of debunk this whole entire thing. I know debunking doesn't normally happen on this channel. Oh, yes it does. It happens all the time because these type of clowns always continue to lie. And of course, this person in particular thought it was okay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go on with Frog Tony, right? The guy who always lies and is a huge grifter on Ripperverse stuff. Now he's trying to shift the goalpost away to talking about Sweet Baby Inc., the guy who says video games are for losers and for children. Yeah, that guy. That guy's definitely gonna be the savior of comics and video games. But we're gonna get into this real quick. I did watch a little bit of it. It's really interesting how some of the things he said make no sense whatsoever, and I'm gonna disprove and talk about the nonsense. Let's get into it.
In every revolution, there's one man with a vision.
You know that I am talking about the reverse cult. And I know that you've seen the thumbnail, you've read the description. You know that I am talking about the reverse cult.
The Ripperverse cult. Yes, the Ripperverse fans that want to protect their fandom from a bunch of fake SJWs and a bunch of people who want to infiltrate said fandom. You know, a couple people that are grifting here and there, like Tony, like Katie did, like Mint Salad, like Riley. All these people that want to grift on Eric July's success and want to bite at his ankles constantly because they have nothing else going on. And this is kind of the thing they have to do to stay relevant.
And a lot of you are going to say that he's not. Well, I doubt that. And I have proof.
You have bias. You have gone on a live stream with a dude who has a bias, and then you have talking points from another bias source, aka EVS. Yes, we're definitely gonna listen to truth bombs and proof from a person who hangs around people that are grifting and nipping at the ankles of Eric July's success. But let's listen to him talk a little bit.
I've done a lot of research on cults. And everything Eric July does is very cult like. Uh, as a matter
So everything Air July does is cult like. No, everything Air July does is protective of his IP and talks to the fans and actually listens to what actual fans have to say, not a bunch of people that are trying to infiltrate the sandbox or the fandom with their nonsense.
of fact, I was watching Trashcast, uh, EVS Trashcast recently, and he had
So yeah, here we go. Again, a biased person.
a guest on, Paul Ravoche, and he nailed Eric July in one word so perfectly. It was one of those words that I thought, why didn't I think of this myself? He called him a carpetbagger.
So it says a carpetbagger is a person perceived as an unscrupulous opportunist. Now, what he's going to say is that Eric July took an opportunity to essentially grift, right? That's what they're going to say. That's what they always say. They're saying they're using the opportunity of mainstream comics being absolute trash and being terrible and not for the people who are originally fans of stuff. And now he's using it as an opportunity to take people's money because they're enthusiastic about something that they haven't been enthusiastic about in a very long time.
Now, what is a carpetbagger? Normally, it deals with government. It deals with people trying to get into government. They move from one state to another. But another term for carpetbagger is an unscrupulous opportunist. And that is exactly what Eric July is.
So let's find out what he
Eric July does
thinks.
not
Let's find out what he thinks about Eric July being an unscrupulous opportunist.
care about comic books. He does not care about comic book fans. He does not care about comic book collectors. He cares about one thing and one thing only.
Oh, what's
And
that?
that thing? Money.
So he doesn't care about comic books, even though he's been talking about comic books for years on his own channel, talking about comic books he either hates that he paid for or likes that he paid for. He doesn't care about comic book fans, even though he's creating a comic book universe specifically for people that were fans of comics. And he doesn't care about comic collectors, even though he's creating variants that are limited and creating CGC versions of said variants. But he doesn't care about collectors. I don't think, honestly, anybody should care about collectors. Most people who read comics are not in it for collecting and reselling. It's a very small minority of people, in my opinion. So, honestly, I don't care about that portion myself. But for you to sit here and say, oh, he cares about his money. Yeah, because you get into business to make money. You sound like one of those clowns that say, oh, I got into comic books for the passion of comic books and I'm going to sell it at a low price point and not make any profit. I'm just going to sell it for little to nothing and not be able to feed myself except my cat's food. But let him tell you. I'm going to skip a little bit ahead because there is copyrighted music at that portion.
That's it. All he wants is money. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about any other of the pay pigs that are giving him the money.
So we're called pay pigs, right? The people that support the Ripperverse are called pay pigs constantly. So to them, a pay pig is somebody that gives money for a product that's promised and receives a product that was promised and was delivered to me that I paid for. So I pay for a product, I receive product. That's apparently a pay pig.
It's just all about the money, and he's created this cult that people have joined, and whether you realize it or not, if you're part of the Ripperverse, you're in this cult.
So if you're part of the Ripperverse, meaning the employees or the customer of the Ripperverse, you are in a cult. Apparently, because, cults have a hive mind typically. That's typically how cults work. Cults are usually a hive mind, which is what the people in CG are. The clowns over there in CG make egregious claims about Eric being against crowdfunding, even though he's not listening to criticism, even though he has, from actual paying customers that have lowered the shipping rates for international, lowered the price of books, and corrected any mistakes that were shown in ISOM 1 and 2 as far as grammar and spelling.
Now, hopefully, this video will do one of two things. One, it'll help you realize you're in a cult, and you're going to go, wow, I didn't realize this. I need to kind of step back and see what's, reevaluate life. Or two,
That typically doesn't happen when the words are coming out of the mouth of someone who has a clear bias and has only one idea of an individual without actually knowing anything about how that individual operates, which is what typically happens when leftists try to argue what the other side is saying without actually knowing the position of the person that they're arguing against.
you're going to double down and you're going to give me the worst comments.
Oh yeah, you got destroyed in the comments. I read some of the comments before watching this video. You got absolutely destroyed in the comments. And by the way, you got ratioed. 64 likes to 91 dislikes. You got absolutely ratioed and you got destroyed in the comments.
The worst comments that I'm going to have to read. But I'm going to read them all. Whether or not I reply to them or not, we'll see. But let's go through some of these things about a cult, and we'll see how it compares to Eric July. First and foremost, zero tolerance to criticisms and questions.
Oh, this is going to be awesome considering that you're dumb and you don't actually know that. Again, Eric July has taken actual criticism from actual fans, not trolls who want to sit up here and claim that they're giving him criticism when they're actually just sitting up here trolling, even if they have paid for the book. If you paid for the book and you didn't like the book, Okay, you give your opinion and you move on, which is what these weirdos don't seem to understand. That you can get a product, not like the product, give your opinion on it, and then move on to the next thing in your life. But some people just can't let it go. They have to continue to hammer in this whole nonsense about how ISOM is bad and ISOM 2 is bad, even though it's objective. That's your opinion. I mean, sorry, it's not objective. It's subjective. It's your opinion. You're allowed to have it. Put your opinion out there and move on. Stop trying to act like other people can't like something because you don't like it.
Yeah. I would say that is the basis for why we're here today. Eric July cannot, absolutely cannot take criticism.
As I've already explained, he's taking criticism from actual fans that have given him real criticism. Now, what the criticism that people would expect him to take is from a bunch of trolls like Dick Masterson, who gave him crappy quote unquote criticism, as in EVS wanted him to take the criticism from Dick Masterson, a guy who doesn't give a crap about comics. He says people that read comic books are for losers. He's already said all of CG books are garbage, and they let him in the door anyway. They want to talk about how the Saskas are bad for indie comics, yet you literally let in a guy who doesn't give a crap about the medium whatsoever and has even made it clear that he doesn't care about the medium you're a part of. Same guy who said he wants to watch Eric's business go down in flames because bad art. And he's been found recently in a clip for like 9 minutes getting roasted, which I might do that tomorrow. I might do a video on that tomorrow. But he doesn't have to take criticism from people who have bad faith arguments and are coming at him in bad faith, who have just the first thing they do is troll, and they want you to take criticism, and then they play victim and say, well, he can't take criticism when we know exactly what you did. We know exactly you were a troll. You said a bunch of nonsense, and people don't have to sit up here and take it. If you get blocked, well, then you get blocked. Plain and simple.
He can cry all day about how he can take criticism, but at the end of the day, he blocks his critics.
No, he blocks trolls. You know why he doesn't block critics? He hasn't blocked Literature Devil. Literature Devil was critical of ISOM number 1. Didn't block him. Your boy Zach was critical of ISOM to an extent. Didn't block him. You know who he does block? Again, he blocks people who are unintentionally trying to get his attention, and they're trolls. They're intentionally trolling. Those are the people he blocks. He blocks people who are sitting up here lying constantly, people that are revolving doors, saying the same thing over and over again, regurgitating the lies that they've been told by an actual cult leader named EVS. Because EVS is the actual cult leader of CG, where everyone regurgitates the same lies that he puts out into the ether. And remember, EVS also said people only like Eric July because he's black.
He makes fun of his critics. He tries to gaslight his followers to go out and also criticize his critics.
He does not gaslight people to go criticize his critics. He tells his audience and people that enjoy the Ripperverse to gatekeep fake people. Gatekeep the fake fans that aren't actually caring about the universe that they like. That's what he actually has said.
Just so he can make himself feel better. That is one of the tenets of being a cult leader. You can get.
That's literally not what Eric has ever done, though. Please, if you're going to make an egregious claim like that, please present the proof. Because you're just saying bullcrap with no evidence.
Your people to do whatever you want. Well, all the people that are going to comment here, telling me how bad I am, how great Rippa is, he did this. It's all him.
What's that clip again where he's like, oh, hey, I'm pulling the strings. Yeah, Eric July sent people here to comment on your video. You're so unimportant. I don't even think he knows about this video. I don't think anybody in the Ripperverse that works for them even knows about this video. They might know about it now after I talk about it because it's a stupid video where you're saying a bunch of nonsense. You literally just said that Eric sends people to comment on your video. That's clown shit.
Next, unreasonable fears about the outside world that often involve evil conspiracies and persecutions. Why do you think he has all these NDAs going out? He can't.
Because he can't put out things that are not official yet. They're called non-disclosure agreements for a reason, you idiot.
Talk about it.
Which, by the way, I forgot to mention. You notice exactly what I see here? What does Eric say his normal haters are? Fat, overweight, out of shape, and white. Prime example.
Anything. Hell, he'll even NDA himself if he thinks it's going to keep him from talking about things. Eric, if you're watching, nobody cares about your characters.
Nobody cares about your characters except the people that bought Yaira, Alpha Core, and Isom and have hyped for Horseman and are hyped for Bloodroof. But nobody cares about those characters. You know, if nobody cared about the characters, why is Yaira #1 almost at 1.3 million if no one cared about the characters? Could you explain that one to me? Explain to me how no one cares about his characters, yet there's literally hype in every single Twitter thread involving every single character that's been announced that has a book. Gooding, Bloodruth, Horseman, Yaira, Alpha Core, Isom. And people are excited for Norfolka if they get a book, right? Horseman, if Horseman does well, it'll end up getting a book. No one cares about his characters except the people that are buying the books. This literally makes no sense.
Nobody wants to steal your characters.
Oh, but they'll involve him in a trademark lawsuit with Isom, but nobody wants to steal your characters. Yeah, may not want to steal his characters, but they surely want to get him involved in a lawsuit with a ministry of the same name.
I'm a writer. I have a lot of things that I've written. There are a lot of things I want to write. None of which have anything to do with you at all.
And that's perfectly fine. Rather than wasting your time making this stupid video, why don't you go write stuff rather than wasting your time with this video? You wasted 12 minutes of your life, probably more if you did any editing, which it seems like you did some editing. You wasted your time making this video rather than writing.
You can have your garbage characters. You can have
the garbage characters that, again, are outselling every other indie book, and Isom outselling everything in the last 5 years, graphic novel-wise. But garbage characters, remember, garbage characters that many people are hyped for. Yeah.
Your Isom, and your Gaira, and your Horseman, and whatever god-awful other characters you're going to...
Eric didn't create Horseman, dummy. You made a mistake, again, like you always do. Horseman was created by Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. So you just said that a character created by a legendary author, a legendary writer, and a legendary artist is garbage. So you made a mistake again. You're factually incorrect.
Produce. I don't want them. Other decent creators don't want them either. You don't need to NDA people.
What other decent creators? You mean the decent creators that don't put books out? Or actually, I should say, that are late with loads of books? Those other creators?
To keep them from talking. It's ridiculous. Nobody wants to steal your stuff. You, my friend, are living in some weird bubble where you think everybody's out to get you. Nobody's out to...
Literally, you have EVS doing a trash cast on Eric July for weeks on weeks on weeks. Kiwi Farms notices this. His own backers notice this because they're asking for refunds, or well, at the very least, they want him to stop doing them so they could get their stuff.
To get you. Nobody cares about you. The only
and also Dick Masterson calling the charity and saying that he committed charity fraud. Nobody's out to get you, though. No trolls out to get him involved in a trademark lawsuit. But nobody's out to get Eric July, even though there's plenty of evidence to support the contrary. Oh no, you had a person pull up to a warehouse that's being used by Eric July. Nobody's out to get him, though. You had some crack smoker show up to a great-great-grandfather's grave of Eric July. Nobody's out to get him, though. This is clown world. There's literal evidence to the contrary of what you're saying.
only reason we're talking about you is because at one time you presented yourself as someone who can't take criticism. You're a little bitch who can't take criticism.
Even though he has taken criticism from people that actually matter, clowns like you would probably want him to take criticism from Dickie Boy Masterson, Juju the cow, who doesn't care about the medium that he's involved in.
That's why we're here. If you had just taken criticism like a man, we wouldn't be here.
No, you would still be here because you clowns literally every single thing that Eric does, you comb through it and try to find something wrong. Again, you went after these types went after Joe Bennett and Chuck Dixon talking about Q stuff. People been going after Saskas for months prior to the Yaira campaign launching. You went after Cliff Richards' art. And then you want to you're accusing Deborah Carita of having her artwork redrawn by Kanan White.
You could have just said, hey, you know what? All the criticism about Isom 1, I hear you. Okay, I'll do better. And moved on. Nobody would have cared about you from this point on. No one would be making this big a deal about you. But because you proved you can't, well, we're all here.
As I said, it's taking criticism from Literature Devil, your boy Zach, and many of the actual fans that aren't complete dickheads. You know who he doesn't take criticism from and doesn't have to take criticism from? Trolls like Dick Masterson. Trolls like Vito the Pedo, who can't freaking get a book out even though he's been crying about Ripperverse for almost 2 years now. Hashtag when is Superkiller.
Thank you, Eric. Next.
Thank you, Eric. You get the grift.
Abuse of members. Come on. If you're paying $100 for a shiny cover, if you're paying $45 for a short box, a short cardboard box,
$100, right? He's referring to a $100 cover that was drawn by a veteran artist named Shane Davis. A veteran artist by Shane Davis, which is a cover that was limited to 5,000 units. It was a limited cover, foiled and embossed. I have the cover. It looks amazing, up close and personal. Now he's going to get into the short box.
With garbage 3D asset images of Isom.
Garbage 3D assets. We're going to really do this. You're so lost in the sauce of this nonsense of 3D assets that you literally don't even know who created the artwork for the short box. By the way, the Ripperverse short box I do have, it has all of the characters from Isom 1. It's got Lillian, Michael, Darren, Yaira, Isom, all of Alpha Core. And your dumbass doesn't even know that the artwork was created by Kanan White. So you literally are sitting up here making up crap and don't even have your facts right. Because you're so lost in this bullcrap of 3D assets, your dumbass can't even tell the difference in two different artists' artwork. Which is so simple. Here's what I did after I listened to you literally disrespect a veteran artist in Kanan White. You disrespected this man's artwork, which, by the way, I love Cliff Richard's artwork and I love Kanan White's artwork. But at the very least, if you're going to say that the artwork has something on it or it's made by a certain creator, at least know who you're talking about. Simple as this. I literally tagged Eric July. I said, correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, but was it not Kane and White that did the artwork for the Ripperverse short box? This is correct. Simple as that. Just asking the man directly if the artwork is made by Kane and White or Cliff Richards would be so simple. I got an almost immediate response by just simply asking the question, was the artwork created by Kane and White? But you couldn't even do the most simple of research because you're such a dummy and you have such a bias against Eric because you hang around crack smokers like Tony and biased people like EVS.
You're being abused. All right, you can get a short box for $8. You can get a short box with images of Spider-Man, Batman, the X-Men, Justice League for 12 to 16 bucks.
Do you know why you can get those short boxes for that low price? Because the quality of the boxes are dog shit and they're mass produced. The Ripperverse short box, great cardboard, greatly put together, very nice artwork by Kane and White, again, and it was limited to 250. Typically, limited items cost more because there's a small supply and a high demand. It's the basic economics of supply and demand. I mean, you can get a comic book that's $5, but if you want this variant that's limited, $25. So they do the same crap when it comes to comic books. People could simply buy the $5 comic to read it, but people will go out and get the $25 comic. What's the difference? Oh, because it's a limited variant. Interesting.
But you're going to pay $45 for garbage assets, 3D assets?
And you said it again, because again, you're dumb and you do zero research, and you can't tell the difference between Cliff Richards' art and Kane and White's art. It's not hard to tell the difference. But again, basic research would help you.
You deserve to be taken. You deserve to have your money stolen from you.
My money wasn't stolen from me. Eric July didn't go into my pocket and take the money, take $45 out of my pocket and give me a short box. I paid for quality art in Kane and White.
You deserve to be abused. Because that's what he's doing.
So you're incorrectly using a word, as most of you idiots do. You change definitions of words on the fly because this is what you clowns typically do. You'll change the definition of words on the fly.
Abusing you. If you're paying $1,000 for the everything all at once Yaira tier, you deserve, just give him your bank account now. Because eventually he's going to get it. He's going to take all your money. Just give it to him now.
Oh yeah, because Eric July is gonna creep into my bank account and take all my money that I'm willingly giving him. Wow. Why do you care what someone else is spending their money on? Again, this is a grown-ass man crying about what other grown-ass adults are spending their money on. If someone wants to spend $1,000 on Ripperverse, where they're actually going to receive the comics and receive the product that they paid for, unlike certain other creators that are years behind on a book that's shorter in length, same price, by the way, because Yaira #1's lowest price point is $25 for a 90-page book, so almost double what some other books are in page count. Better quality pages, by the way, better quality paper, and you're sitting up here complaining about what other people spend their money on. Clown world.
That's all he wants. He wants your money. He doesn't want you. He doesn't want your loyalty. He wants nothing but your money.
Yeah, the guy that regularly interacts with fans doesn't want you as a fan. Remember, there was a point where some retard online said, oh, Eric July should be ashamed to have you as a fan, and he stepped right in and said, I would never be ashamed to have me as a fan. Literally, you guys are so used to the nonsense abuse and the mainstream companies telling you to F off when they screw with your characters and change who they are in different ways, like sexuality, sexual orientation, and race swaps and tokenization, that you're not used to a creator thanking you for your patronage and thanking you for being a fan of their stuff. This is why people respect creators like Graham Nolan and Billy Tucci, because they appreciate their fan base and they're like, okay, I'm happy you supported this project. Yeah, I'm gonna get it out to you in a timely manner. Here's my next project. Please support this, and I thank you for supporting my next project. Oh, we also got Andy Smith. Andy Smith's good as well. Joe Ball's a great person to talk to as well. He's a good dude as well. So, you know, if you find him on Twitter and you want to get his 300-page graphic novel, ask him for his PayPal details. He'll still offer it to you.
That's all these cultists want. He's like some televangelist, just walking around preaching, giving all the, saying all the right things, and all you morons are just, he's right. Let's just give him money so he can say more things.
He's right, as he gives the facts and evidence when he talks. It's called being good at marketing. It's called providing evidence while talking about a topic or a subject, which is something that Eric does, which is what these clowns don't do.
That we think is right. Good on you, mate. Good on you.
Yeah, good on me for
Next,
spending money with a company that will give me a product that I like, that I love. Congratulations. You're still crying about what someone else spends their money
a
on.
belief that the leader is right at all times. I've seen quite a bit of chatter on the interwebs, more importantly on X, formerly Twitter, where people are just espousing how great Eric is, and how he's right all the time. Oh, he's had four $1 million campaigns. Just because you have,
Is there anybody else that has that? Is there anybody else who has enthusiasm going for their books? I haven't seen it. You know what I have seen? Everyone and their grandmother crying about the Ripperverse, crying about what other people spend their money on. Well, you shouldn't buy this because I said so, because I think it's terrible. You shouldn't like it.
have $1 million campaign, doesn't mean the comic book's good. It just means there's a lot of people who are willing to give up their money for garbage.
There are a lot of people willing to buy a product that they most likely will like. You continue to regurgitate this nonsense about it's garbage. Congratulations, you have an opinion like every other person on the internet. Congratulations. You want a cookie? Do you want a prize for saying the same exact thing that everybody else can say? Oh, it's garbage. Okay, good. Good on you. You have an opinion. Wow. It's like no one ever had one of those before. Oh no, you can't have an opinion according to these types. You can't have an opinion that's something other than the comic sucks or the comic is garbage. If you have that opinion, they attack you. They say, "Why do you like this? Why do you like this? Here's why it's terrible. Here's what." Shut up. Just shut the fuck up.
Uh, Lots of money does not make things good. So if you're giving up your money, again, just give it all to him. Just pony it all up. Just push it all in. I'm all in. I'm all in on Eric July. He's he's the bestest ever.
Yeah, people are out to put all their money in. At this point, you just sound like an envious, jealous prick. That's what you sound like. Rather than you talking about your own stuff, going writing your own stuff and doing it better, right? And getting people to give you money for your product, you're sitting up here crying about Air July.
He is everything. He's everything that he complained about in every video. before he started making comic books. He
Literally isn't. Let's see if you can explain it to me how he's everything he complained about in his videos.
complained about Marvel and DC and the MCU, how bad they were, and everything bad they were doing. He's doing the exact same thing now.
Everything bad that Marvel was doing, he has reviews of books he actually likes, like Black Widow, No Restraints Play.
To take your money. But because he's developed this cult and all the cultists are, gathering around him.
So you didn't explain what Air July was terrible at. You literally didn't explain anything. You didn't explain how he is the thing he complained about. You didn't explain anything.
To defend him, well, it's hard not to see what's going on as an outsider. I'm an outsider, seeing what's going on. It's a cult. Now, if you guys want to continue to give your money, that's fine.
So it went from you guys are being abused, and you should just give them everything, to, oh, now it's okay that you are giving money to something you actually like. Am I gonna sit up here and tell you anything in your background you shouldn't buy that because I said so? Absolutely not. I don't care what you spend your money on. It's your money.
You made the money. I'm assuming you go out and you work hard and you do a job and you make a money. You get paid every week or every 2 weeks. So spend your money the way you want.
Okay, so then what's the problem with people spending their money in Ripperverse? If this was the conclusion you came to after all this crap you were just talking, what's the problem? It's as if the market will decide if the Ripperverse will continue to succeed. Just like the market decides if Cyberfall continues to succeed, the market will decide if every other indie comic creator will succeed.
I'm not telling you how you should and shouldn't spend your money.
You literally did. You literally said, "Oh, you're getting abused, and Eric July is gonna put his hand in your pockets and take your money." You literally just said all that, bro. You literally just went backwards.
All I'm saying is if you're giving Eric July your money, you're just pissing it away.
You just said people could spend their money on what they want, and then you say people are pissing it away. You're literally flip-flopping in the matter of 20 seconds.
There is going to be no aftermarket for this.
There's more aftermarket for this than Cyberfog. I've already proved this multiple times. I've proved this in multiple videos that there's a bigger aftermarket for ISOM than there is for Cyberfrog. Even a person like EVS who could remark up an ISOM 1 and 2 can make more money putting out an ISOM book online than Cyberfrog has ever sold on the aftermarket.
Nobody is going to go on eBay.
People buy ISOM every single day off eBay. What are you talking about?
And try to buy an Eric July comic book for more than what you paid for it.
People have done it all the time. They're doing it as we speak. Did you even verify this, or are you just talking out the side of your neck?
Nobody. You can try to put it out there. No one's going to do it. And if they do, well, they're a bigger idiot than you are.
So once again, you reverted back to people can't spend the money on what they want. You're an idiot if you buy something on the aftermarket.
Right. So, the cult of the Rippaverse. You guys are just sad. And,
people that like a product are sad. So I'm going to say this. People can answer in the comment section. Am I part of a cult because I buy things that are part of the Castlevania IP? That I defend the Castlevania IP and talk about how great the Castlevania IP is? I guess so, according to your logic. According to your logic, me buying statues of Castlevania and buying games of Castlevania and playing games of Castlevania. That makes me part of the Castlevania cult. Not a fan of the IP. That makes me part of the cult of Castlevania. According to your logic, yeah, apparently I am.
I feel bad for you. Maybe one day you'll open your eyes and understand just how bad he is. Maybe you'll understand just how much of a pay pig you are, and all he thinks of you is,
oh, again, people are pay pigs because they spend money on what they... Dude, just shut up. I'm not even listening to the last, 30 seconds of this. This had to be the most dumbest video I've ever seen from a detractor. Again, you are listening to literal people who have lied constantly about Eric July. Tony is the last person I would ever talk to when it comes to knowing anything about Ripperverse lore, about the lore of all the nonsense that was thrown out into the ether about Eric. This is the same crack smoker that's literally grifting off CG, who's okay with a bunch of water sport pornographers. Okay? So, why would I take this guy serious at all? Especially when a guy that's making a comic that's taking a literal hero that was created by Marvel, same exact name, Fabulous Frogman. You can look it up, say my opinion, you can look it up, has the same exact powers, or at least very near to it, and then has a long tongue like another character. Oh yeah, Cybercuck. So no originality in that guy's comic at all. But apparently you're supposed to listen to that freaking clown. And the clown known as EVS, who's doing drama streams daily. Not the guy who's focusing on his own business. No, the guy that's making drama stream videos or drama stream live streams every single day. You're a clown. You're an idiot. You got so many things factually incorrect. And honestly, just shut up. Write your stupid books that most likely no one's going to know of, no one's going to buy, and just keep that over there. We, Ripperverse fans, want to be over here enjoying Ripperverse. You can go over there and enjoy whatever you want. You clearly have things that you bought in your background that you enjoy. Just enjoy that stuff. We don't care over here. We want good stories. We want good art. But apparently hiring people like Chuck Dixon, Joe Bennett, the Saska sisters, Kanan White, hiring a bunch of talent, right? Where Eric July was criticized about art, so he hired an art director. They still criticized him for that. They still cry about artwork after hiring an art director, making false claims about how Deborah Carita had her whole book redrawn by Kanan White, even though you can easily look up her artwork and see that it looks similar to what she's drawing in Yaira. So, dude, get over it. Stop crying about what adults are spending their money on. You could spend yours on whatever you want. We could spend ours on whatever we want. Just shut the hell up and go away. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit the like button. Comment below if you feel about all this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or live stream. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.